Hey everyone, Kyle once again. Welcome back to another movie review for Halloween month. Reviewing another horror film and reviewing basically another ghost movie. And since I previously did 13 Ghosts, I figure I would do review this film because it's from the same director, and this is who made Steve Beck, who made two movies. That film 13 Ghosts and this one which I'm reviewing, Ghost Ship. So the guy only made two movies, which was a year each apart, because 13 Ghosts was 2001, and this was to the next release the next year in 2002, and since then the guy hasn't directed a movie since. So, and I would say I said at the ending of my review of 13 Ghosts, I say that film is much better than this. Because at least 13 Ghosts has things I did like about it, even though I had a few issues with it. Because I liked the two leads. I liked Tony Shalhoub. I like Matthew Lillard. I enjoyed the set look of the house, and some good couple of one cool death, and then out of all of them, and then some other interesting ideas, some other good ideas, and then the makeup designs of the look of the ghosts. Yeah, even though despite having some issues, like some of the characters, some of the characters I did not care about, and some usage of bad CG, and the whole thing with F. Murray Abraham's his whole plan for the 13 Ghost prophecy or whatever. That was with the ending of that is it was a bit of a letdown. So yeah, even despite some issues, I overall like 13 Ghosts. It wasn't a rant because otherwise I would have put it there. So I do like 13 Ghosts overall. That film I thought was much better than this. And once again, it's produced by Robert Zemeckis, produced by director Robert Zemeckis and Joel Silver, because I explained before that during the past few years, they've been producing horror films that's released from Dark Castle Entertainment. Like, the first film they did from that company was from the remake of House on Haunted Hill, which I really do enjoy. It's one of the better horror film remakes. Then they did 13 Ghosts, and then this film. And then they wanted to do the House of Wax remake, which I think it's an underrated horror film remake to me. And then they wanted to do Orphan, which is another one I like. Which, I don't think that Robert Zemeckis didn't... I know Joel Silver helped produce that one, but I don't think Robert Zemeckis helped produce on Orphan. Which, really enough, Leonardo DiCaprio, really enough, was the producer on that film. Which is kind of weird. But yeah, but for the most part, Robert Zemeckis and Joel Silver were producing these horror films from the earlier years from Dark Castle Entertainment. And also quite really, which is kind of ironic and also, yeah, weird, is that Ghost Ship and 13 Ghosts, which are the only two films that the guy Steve Beck has directed, and really enough, both those movies have like the same rating on IMDb, which is a 5.5, and the same rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which is a 14%, and they both grossed a worldwide total of $68 million, which I thought was kind of weird. Always people for like the ratings like, only two films from this director will give it all the same ratings and same worldwide box office grossing. So I thought that was kind of weird. But first of all, we'll start with this title and this picture, the title of the poster. Generic title, Ghost Ship. Although it's not like. Although if they're looking up, there's another film called Ghost Ship, but that's from the 50s, but it's not related to this. But yeah, and the tagline "See Evil," which is really lame, because you know the term like "see evil," you know, like the film with Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor, "See no evil, hear no evil." You know, it's like "see evil," except replace the E with an A. Get it? And generic poster looking. But yeah, so that's the cover and the poster, and it's also have one of these things where you move it, you see the no face and then another face, kind of lame as well. But and as for the cast is not much, but for the cast you have Julianna Margulies, who I mostly remember from Snakes on a Plane. And also, which I forgot, I think when I reviewed Disney's Dinosaur, because she was one of the voices. I think I forgot what her character was, though. I remember that I forgot that she was one of the voices on there. And then also you have Desmond Harrington, who I remember from the first Wrong Turn movie. I liked him in that, and here not so much, because I liked him when he an elite girl who lived through the movie, but this I did not care for him in it. Isa for mispronounce his first name, Washington, which I remember the only film I remember him. He was in the Steven Seagal movie Exit Wounds, and you have Gabriel Byrne from who I like as an actor, and one of my favorite roles of his when he played the devil in Arnold Schwarzenegger's End of Days, which is another rated Arnold film to me, and I liked his role when he played the devil. And he's been in other movies as well. And also, who I also forgot who was in this, because I haven't seen this film in a while, so just had to rewatch it again. And I forgot that Karl Urban is in this. Yeah, it shows how long I have not watched this film. I forgot that Karl Urban was in this. Yeah, so as I'm looking at my poster of Dread, yeah, I forgot he was in this. It's been that long. And then also we have Emily Browning, who from the series of Unfortunate Events, and also in Sucker Punch. So she plays the little ghost, the little girl ghost as Katie. And that's pretty much it. I mean, and then. So what's the film about? It opens up in which the title sequence, how the way that shows the title, because it makes it film it wants to open to look like an old movie. How the way it shows the title, and also it makes they show like an old version of the Warner Brothers logo, and then it opens up on the ocean liner, which is an Italian cruise ship called the Antonia Greza. And this is where if anyone who remembers this movie automatically think of the opening, because the opening sequence is like one of the most memorable things in horror films. A lot of people say, which I would do agree with, because I do like the opening sequence. It's really cool. It's a really cool gory scene where it opens up like it's out on the upper deck, outside, and people are dancing. And you see Emily Browning as Katie, who's dancing with the captain, and you have this female singer singing. Then all of a sudden you have this mysterious figure who throws a switch, and then offsets this big long cable, and it mows through everybody. It cuts everybody in half. Cool gory sequence. Like first like there's a silence, then all of a sudden there's blood dripping down on the floors. Then people start falling over in halves, and then well, I have to say, this is a nitpick though. I mean, it shows that everyone's been cut in half, and Emily Browning, I guess she's a bit shorter to be not get cut in half, because she's like for the same height, but I guess like it grazed her, like misses her by a few inches, I guess. But then when she looks up, she sees that the captain, whose head like has been cut like in half, like right here, and then dies. I mean, I'm thinking that's kind of like a little bit of an off measurement, because it shows everybody's been cut in half, all from the waist up though. But somehow it ends up cutting the captain's head like all the way, not from here to all the way up to up here. So that was kind of like a weird misstep right there. Although, unless the cable decides to go like from like this and then like that. But other than that, though, it's a cool opening sequence. It's gory. It's bloody. And that's what a lot of people would remember this film from, is the opening sequence. And in the year where it takes place in, it's in 1962. So it cuts to 40 years later. You have this group of salvagers on a tugboat. The captain is played by Gabriel Byrne. And then you have the rest of the crew. You have Julie, Margulies, Karl Urban, Asia, Washington. This other guy, Ron Eldard, and then this other guy. With the character's name, you have Murphy. That's Gabriel Byrne. Julie's character's name is Epps. Then you have this Ron Eldard is Dodge. Karl Urban is Munder. Asia Washington is Greer. And this other guy named Santos. And they manage to salvage this one boat. They get paid. They get lots of money, having a drink at a bar. Then Desmond Harrington, by the name of Jack, comes in, shows them some pictures of a boat, which is our ghost ship, and they want to go out and salvage it because it's in its international waters, and by law, if it's adrift, they can salvage it. It's theirs. At first, they're a little skeptical. They don't want to do it, though, because they've been out there for quite a bit of time. And I see Washington as Greer. He has a fiance. He wants to stay here. He wants to get married. But they all decided to go along anyway. So they're back at sea, and they're talking. And then when it leads to another when it's nighttime, they run into the ship. It's the Antonia Greza, and they board it. They look it around. Okay. Other than the opening sequence, which I do like, which probably pretty much a lot of people do like though. Like in 13 Ghosts, I like how the way the house looked with all the glass and stuff like that. I'll give it another highlight for the film. I do like how the ghost ship looks, how this ocean liner is all rusted and everything's deserted, and I like the outside look, and I like the inside of the ship as well, how everything's all run down, dusty or musty, or damp, whatever. So I do like how the way the ship looks. I do like that. So I guess because I think the guy Steve Beck was like a visual guy, so I guess he has a little thing on set pieces, I guess. I could be wrong on that part though, but if that though, okay, he has a way of directing good looking places or sets. So okay, I do like how the ghost ship is designed from the outside and the inside. And they're exploring one part at least where Karl Urban, he falls to her floor. Julianna Margulies, he's helping pulling him up, but then when she gives a quick glance, she sees Emily Browning as Katie, and then disappears. And they're just looking around. Everything's been deserted. So there's a couple things when Julia is where the pool area is. She's in it, but when she climbs back out, she sees Emily Browning again. She falls back, and when she gets out the hole, there's holes and there's like empty bullet shells in it, and there's holes in the pool. It starts leaking through with blood. It starts filling it up. And I don't know if that the whole part. It looked like the whole when the pool's filling up with CG look, and that did not look that kind of good to me though. Well, from the wide shot it was. When it shows a close up of it and it shows underneath, there's a bunch of dead bodies underneath. But just on the wide shot when it was filling up with blood, that was kind of a not good CG there. And another part where Gabriel Byrne's in the captain's quarters. Because another part with his character is that he had a problem from drinking from before. He tries not to drink, but eventually he does. And when he picks up the glass, he sees an image of the dead captain, runs away. And Julianna Margulies is with Desmond and Harrington. They're in this one part of the ship, and they open a door. Water comes in. There's more dead bodies. And then when they are running away, they go to another part of the ship where there's this old car, and then they see some boxes. They open up, and first it's filled with rats. Then they opens up, and there's these gold bars. And when they want to tell the others, Karl Urban and Ron Eldard, they play it. They scare them in sheets or sacks, whatever. It looks like white sacks because it's like in the fridge or the meat locker or whatever. So it looks like sacks or white sheets or whatever. They scare them, then they show them. They show everybody the gold bars, and since it's like the right to salvage, so they decide to take it. So they say, leave the ship. We'll take this. We'll just take the gold instead, because it's starting to sink because there is a hole in it. They originally really wanted to fix it up though, but they decided to take the gold and leave. And as they're about to leave, I guess you say a ghost. Well, because that's the problem. That's another problem with the film. It's called Ghost Ship, and you don't see that many ghosts. You see Emily Browning as Katie, and then you see the ghost of that female singer, and that's about it. You don't see any other ghosts in the movie. At least in 13 Ghosts, you saw ghosts, like mainly all 12 of them, because technically 13 because Ephraim Murray Abraham wanted Tony Shalhoub to be the 13 ghosts. So technically 12, but there are still ghosts in the movie. This film, when it's called Ghost Ship, you don't see that many ghosts except for 2. So, but you see like an entity, like a twist a valve, and with gas, and when SCO Washington starts the engine, the tugboat explodes. It kills like Guy Santos. He's on fire, falls in, and everyone's rescued, so they're back on the ship, so they have no choice but to fix it and wait to be rescued. And then one leads to one, and then there's just leads to them to try to fix up and explore some more. You get more with them trying to patch everything up, and with let's call his character Greer. Greer, he's in the dining room, and all of a sudden, the room, which is the main ballroom, it starts, everything is going back into place, fix itself up, and everything is like how it was before. And he's like looking around, and he sees that people are applauding him. Well, the dead people are applauding him. And which, really enough, when he looks around, he doesn't seem that interested. He's like, oh, everything's fixed itself up and people are clapping him. Not much. So, and then the female singer is there. And the guy who's like, he's not giving it much thought into it. He just says, oh, it's not real. I'll just go along with it anyway. If you're wondering, I'm having a Cheez-It. So he just goes along with it. He doesn't care if this is real. So, and then it shows with Gabriel Byrne because he's feeling the guilt because of the guy's death. he's feeling guilty. And he starts drinking. He sees the ghost captain talking to him, and he sees that he shows him some old pictures that that their cruise ship has come across one other ship that was sinking, and that gold came from that ship, and it was brought to theirs, and there was one survivor. And he gives him the photo, and he's like, "Oh my god, oh my god." So, and then when Greer, he's following that ghost woman, gets undressed. It apparently ultimately leads him to fall to his death down this elevator shaft. And then he gets impaled. And then Gabriel Byrne, he's looking, he sees the ghost of one of his crew, Santos, who died in the explosion. And he's like a little bit burned on the face. And he's saying that it was his fault. And he starts scaring him. And then he sees Julie. He doesn't see Julie Margulies there, but Gabriel Byrne sees her as the character Santos and starts attacking her basically, but she doesn't know it. And then Desmond Harrington knocks him out, and they throw him in this tank. And then they try to fix the ship again, with the pumps, and then Julianna Margulies is her Epps, I'll just call her character Epps. She's looking for Greer. She finds him dead, and then she sees Katie, and then she wants to show her something. So she shows her, brings her into the flashback of the cruise ship massacre, basically. It shows the opening of the film with the cable scene. Cool opening, so. And then I thought another thing I liked about it was the flashback, how everyone on the ship was being murdered. Like at first, it starts off with poisoning in the soup, and then the crewman starts shooting people, slicing, cutting throats. And they shoot the people that's in the pool, and then they go to the storage where the gold is at. One guy shoots all the murderers, and the woman, the singer, shoots at one guy. And also, Katie sees her own death as well, because one part earlier, I forgot to mention, where Epps goes into her room, and she opens this closet and finds her dead body there, and takes her necklace. And he's talking to her. He wants to give back her necklace, but she's like, "Oh my God, you really are a ghost," because it goes through her hand. And she's trying to explain it because she's explaining how there's this guy who who collects souls, and he has to fill his quota. Like ones that are marked, or like she's not marked. The ones who are marked has this insignia on their hand, like when it shows during this flashback when the mysterious figure kills this female singer who gets hooked, and he marks her on her hand, has this mark, but kind of looks like a question mark basically. That's what it looked. It either looked like a hook or it looked like a question mark. But Katie's not marked, and because she's like the one who has no sin, and so she's a little harder to control. So. So coming back to that, of course I knew I saw this coming, because our mysterious figure is Desmond Harrington, and I did not like Desmond Harrington in this one, because throughout this whole movie he has this whole bored look on his face throughout this whole movie. He's like, oh well, we got the gold, we should get out of here, or. And especially with that bored look on his face, and the way he's talking, it sounds like he's just bored in the movie. Just how the way his face looks and the way he's talking, it looks like he's just bored. I mean, the cast members, I like Gabriel Byrne, but there's not much to him as the captain. And speaking of, after that, Epps wants to find because they knows what tries to get to Murphy because that's the captain's name, and finds Gabriel Byrne already dead. He drowned because the tank filled up and he's dead. And he had that photo that the captain gave him earlier, and that was Desmond Harrington as that one survivor all those years ago before coming on that cruise ship. And he's a mysterious figure, which I saw that coming a mile away, that he was a mysterious figure. So yeah, she automatically finds him dead, so... And then back with Karl Urban and Ron Eldard. One of the pumps is blocked. Karl Urban goes in there. He's swimming in it. He gets caught. The gear start starting up, and he's caught in it, and he dies. You know, sad to see. I forgot that Karl Urban was in this, and I'm sad to see him die. And then when Epps comes back, she sees blood, and it shows pants back, you see his head. His crushed or decapitated head. So, it's like how I did not like see Matthew Lillard die in 13 Ghosts. I didn't like seeing Karl Urban die in this. So anyway, she's talking with Dodge, Ron Eldard. Tells to keep an eye on Jack, Desmond Harrington, and she goes back to check Munder, but she finds him dead. And then Dodge, just knows something's not right with this guy, so he as Jack lunges forward, he shoots him. Then he goes and gets F's, but then it shows him like he's not dead. You see him move again, and then that character Dodge dies off screen because, he thought that Dodge goes and tells Epps that he shot Jack, and how the way he's behaving, I knew that that's not Dodge. How the way he's behaving, and then because that's Jack posing as him. So that character dies off screen. And he explains that that he's a collector of souls. He needs to fill his quota. If he brings enough souls, management is happy. Which management's basically it's like he's working for the devil basically. Because collecting souls is like he's working for the devil basically. At least that's to me. And it's like if he loses the ship, management won't be happy. So it's like if he loses the ship, guess the devil will be angry with him. But at least that's what I think. Because if he's collecting souls, somehow he has somehow or some way the devil is involved in this. But I'd be wrong. I'm just thinking out loud. But then he starts attacking Julianna Margulies. She first starts choking her in the water. And then she gets the harpoon gun and shoots the detonator, sets off the explosives. And Jack, or Desmond Harrington, some piece of machinery just breaks him into pieces. Bad CG. Even though it looks like a split second, but it's bad CG how he gets hit to pieces. And then she's swimming because she sees Katie, doing this, like kind of guide her way out through the ship underwater. And you see all the souls that have been released. They're going to heaven. Like you see the souls like swimming up towards the surface, and it's going up there up to heaven. And then she sees the ship sinking. And I guess the one little piece of score I did not mind is when the ship is sinking, you have that. I didn't do a good job, but that one little piece of score I did not mind when the ship is singing, that score is going. But the rest of the score was not much. So the ship sinks. She gets rescued. She's getting put into an ambulance, and then she sees the cases where the gold is. They're being brought up into another ship, and she sees Jack again, and she screams out, "No!" as the door closes. And yeah, and also it ends with this horrible heavy metal song, which I hated in this movie, because I forgot to mention earlier, as when they're driving they're driving the tugboat to find the ship, and the guy Santos he's listening to that same song again. I hated that song, whatever that song was. It was horrible, and it did not fit the film at all. Because that was playing during that one scene as they're driving toward the ship. The guy is playing that song, and as the same song playing as the gold is being loaded to the ship. And when she sees Jack again, same song. I hated that song. That did not fit the film at all. Even speaking of another part of the song, even that song that was playing during the flashback sequence of the massacre on the ship, even that song felt out of place. So yeah, that one little piece is that the songs and the soundtrack I did not like overall, except for that one little piece of music that I did not mind when the ship sinks. Overall, I overall didn't, even though that it's one little piece of score. That does not go for the whole entire film. So overall, I did not like the score especially the soundtrack. I hate that song. That was a horrible song. That was that definitely did not fit the film at all. So overall, Ghost Ship. Yeah, I like 13 Ghosts is much better. And the whole cast overall did not care for. Even though I like Gabriel Byrne as an actor, there was not much to his character. Julianna Margulies, I would say she does the best she can though, but she's not overall that great. She tries, but I would say she's so. Desmond Harrington, I did not like. I prefer his performance in Wrong Turn. Karl Urban, it was sad to see him die in this film. It sucks because I highly enjoy him as Dredd. I forgot he was in this because I haven't seen this film in a while and I completely forgot. And it sucks to see him die in this movie. Emily Browning, even I did not like Sucker Punch. I thought she was so as well. The best part of the movie I could say was the opening sequence and the whole entire ship massacre and the flashback. I would say that's the best part of the movie because, really enough, it's R-rated. It says it's R-rated for strong violence and gore. The only ironically it says it's the best gore in the movie is the opening. Because after the opening, not much, tons of gore happens. I mean, you see the pool fill with blood, although from the wide opening, it's bad CG. And then you see the flashback with the whole massacre on the ship, but that's about it. Although you see when Karl Urban gets crushed, though it's in the water, and you see blood though, but it's in the water, but not much. So basically, the only bits of gore is the opening and then the flashback of the massacre, and that's it. The character deaths are overall lame as well, because Gabriel Byrne, it automatically shows him he's already dead from drowning, and then the character Dodge, he dies off screen. Karl Urban, even though he gets caught in the gears, but it's not much of a death for him. The guy Santos dies in a bad CG explosion from that tugboat. Even though the character Jack, even though he's still alive at the end of the movie, but when he got during that ship explosion, the piece of metal cuts him to pieces in bad CG. And the guy, Greer, he just falls to his death, and you don't see him actually get impaled, but it automatically shows him. And I also felt like there was a couple of things that they ripped off from another movie, which actually, really enough, is this film, because I am planning on reviewing this film because because it's one of my favorite horror films, and I highly enjoy this movie from this film. Really enough, like it's like a couple of things to play comparisons. A guy who's searching for a ship, like the character Jack, he's looking for a ship, and you have this film where Sam Neill, he's looking for a ship. And then you have a person who falls to their death by seeing a ghost person, like how this character Greer, he sees the female ghost, and then he falls to his death. And then like in here, where woman Kathleen Quinlan, where she sees the ghost of her son, and then she falls to her death. And then, really enough, and then Lawrence Fishburne, he sees an image or hallucination of one of his previous crewmen who was burned. And then Gabriel Byrne, and then this film, he has like the character Santos who was like burned on his face as well. So it's like they stole a couple of things that's from Event Horizon. Which, this is way much better movie, and I highly enjoy this movie. I love this movie. There's much better gore than this movie, except for the opening. But still. And this one was a much better cast. I highly enjoy Lawrence Fishburne. I highly enjoy Sam Neill. The other cast members I like, Jolie Richardson. What was that guy? I forgot who the guy is in this movie. But and they have a much better director. Paul W.S. Anderson, really enough. But and I like the fact that it was a haunted spaceship. I like the idea of that, and it has much more creative ideas than this film. I mean, I don't say this doesn't have many original things though, but I find it much more entertainment values than this. So, yeah, I think that's basically the only thing that they ripped up things from. Except the difference is it's a cruise ship, not a spaceship. But that's why I feel like the only comparisons are though. But the overall the film sucks. Yeah, I find 13 Ghosts a much better movie from the director. They're the best of the two. The cast overall, I did not care about, except in 13 Ghosts. I like Tony Shalhoub and I like Matthew Lillard. So, yeah, I just find it weird that both 13 Ghosts and that film have the same ratings on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes and the same worldwide grossings on box office. And also, really enough, there was a film that was from the 80s called Death Ship, which has the same basically the same cover as this, but except I find Death Ship, which has a much better cast. You have Richard Crenna, you have George Kennedy in the movie. Even though, yeah, it may not have much like this film. Like, it shows like it's more of a haunting ghost ship, but well, when I plan to review that film too, though, but I'll explain it better though. But it's really enough. That film has a haunted ghost ship and has basically the same cover as this though, but much better looking cover on that film. But this film was just a generic cover, title, and tagline. But at least that film had two lead stars who I do enjoy in that movie, Richard Crenna and George Kennedy. Which really enough, George Kennedy, he passed away a couple of years ago. Okay. Or was it last year? I think it was. Yeah. But, yeah, I think I'll plan to do that film, because I'll say it's much better. When you can make comparisons to ghost ships, that's a much better movie. But I'll plan to review that film sometime, but I got other things I want to plan on reviewing, so I don't want to keep on piling up to before the month ends. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this rant. I would say, yeah, it is a rant because the film sucks. Just the opening sequence, cool gory deaths, cool or gory opening sequence, and then the flashback massacre, and that's basically it. Although I forgot to mention, I do like the design look of the ship, and from the outside and the inside, and that's also it as well. No, the deaths are overall lame. Characters I overall do not care for. Yeah, like Julianna Margulies, she's so, but not much either. Well, the cast, and I like Gabriel Byrne though, but there's not much to him as well, except he had a problem drinking, and he dies in a very lame way. And Desmond Harrington, okay, yeah, the fact he's a soul, he wants to collect souls, okay, I would give it that because you don't see that too many in movies where a guy who's just collecting souls. Although you get the idea that he's probably working for the devil because one of the ways we know where a bad person is collecting souls, it has to be somewhere the devil's involved. But other than that, though, I didn't like him at all. I'd rather watch Wrong Turn. And especially I hate that song that was in the one part in the when they're driving and at the end of the movie. I hate that song. What is it? What is the song called? Because there's a music video of that song on the features. It's called "Not Falling" by Mudvayne. I've never heard the group, so yeah. There's a whole music video on that song, which I hate in the movie. On the features is footage, untold tales, location on the set, visual effects, design of the ghost ship, and then that music video of that song, and the trailer. So I don't want Mario over 40 minutes. I didn't want to make this go long, but this movie sucks. I hate this movie, and I don't care if I watch this movie again. I'd rather watch 13 Ghosts. Yeah, that's the only two films this guy's directed, and after this film, never directed again or never heard from again. So if he chooses not to direct because of this film, I don't blame him. But if that's the case, but so yeah, hope you like this rant on Ghost Ship, and then I'll planning on next time. Maybe not the next review though, but I will during this month of Halloween. I want to review this film because I love this movie, and then I'll get to why. But yeah, this will be coming up very soon, so. But yeah, for this film, one of the most scariest and most original horror movies in years, no. It's definitely not scary, and it's definitely not original at all. Nothing I see original in this at all, and it's definitely not scary either. They probably would think, oh, it's a ghost ship because it was sent during the Halloween weekend, but it was not that big of a hit. But anyway, that's my rant on Ghost Ship. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned on the next movie review, and stay tuned very soon for my review of this. It may not be the next review though, but probably after that maybe. But look forward to seeing this because I'm definitely going to give an in-depth review of this film. But for now, thanks for watching. Stay tuned.